Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. First of all, happy 2023 to all of you guys. Um, I was really not looking forward to make this as my first video for 2023, but I saw this news and I like, that things are not really looking very great. Unfortunately, in the Salesforce space. I mean, I did hear about the news last year, before holidays, that Salesforce, planning to lay off a few people, but I was not expecting they're gonna get rid of 10% of his headcount, which is more like 8,000. Um, and and as this news says that more layoffs will be expected. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video, right, because I've been in that stage in my career. I've been laid off twice in my professional career. Um, so the way it happened, right, it was not due to any performance. It was because the company decided they can't pay people money, so they said, okay, we gonna make you redundant. That's a polite way of saying, hey, you're fired. In New Zealand, firing is not very common, so they say we're gonna make you redundant means your post no longer in action, or in other words, that your position is no longer will be live for anyone to apply. um, so that means they're gonna kill off your role completely. Otherwise, what will happen is, right, if they say they're gonna make you redundant and they're gonna hire you someone else, they hire someone else for the same role, you can go and sue that person, uh, sue that company. I mean, not the person. Uh, so there are certain labor laws we have in New Zealand. I'm not sure how the labor laws works in other part of the world, but that's not the point of discussion today, right? The point of discussion for today is just how you guys can go about it, right? I mean, if you guys been impacted, then my sincere uh, sympathies towards you guys, because I've been through that stage, and it's not really pretty, to be honest, right? It sucks, right? It hits you hard, right? One day you woke up and you hear the news, hey, you've been laid off. It's really not pretty, right? I mean, people have family to feed. They wanted to, look after themselves. They wanted to look after their loved ones, and these kind of things after the holiday, right? It's not really great. But that being said, right, there's a saying, right? Every crisis brings the greatest opportunity in life. So you need to, think about in a different perspective, right? First of all, my sincere advice: don't take it personal, right? Someone laying you off from the profession doesn't mean that you're not skilled, or for that matter, it's your fault, right? You have to think about this way, right? You got hired for the role because you're skilled. Just because someone decides to lay you off doesn't mean that you'll become an unskilled worker. You're still a talented, skilled person. It's just that things didn't work out. Especially in terms of Salesforce. For whatever reason, they decides, hey, you're not a good fit. We don't want you. Maybe the company's not making much money. So yeah. So my sincere advice for you, like what I've done, right? When I got laid off, I tell you my story. It happened many years ago, right? One day I went to work, and my boss called me, to my meeting and said, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you uh, later, perhaps like 1 o'clock in the afternoon." Um, and I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Well, another founder, because I was working for a small firm, so another founder wants to talk to you as well." I said, "That doesn't seems right, because normally, my boss was pretty straightforward guy. If he has something to talk, he will discuss with me straight away." So to keep the story short, so they called me for a meeting around 1 p.m. and they said, "Look, unfortunately, market is not looking very great. So we kind of decided to make your role redundant." I know it's very difficult, because it was difficult for me that time, because my partner was not working, and I got a 6-month-old baby, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I mean, I was not even sure how to react to that. Right, when he said, "Unfortunately, you're all being made redundant," and I was not sure whether to cry, whether to just go home and do what. And my boss said, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you take time off? And just because we are making you redundant doesn't mean that we are letting you go today. You got a month. You can work with us for a month, so we'll pay you month's salary, and we also help you look for another job elsewhere. And if you wanted to take time off, to go and apply for an interview, you're most welcome to do that. You can use uh, office time to go and give an interview, and we will not detect your pay. I mean, they were very kind, right? And so that kind of helped me, boost my morale. And I went home that day. I don't want to make my wife upset because she was already going through the post birth depression stage, right? Which, if you're a woman, you will understand. Some ladies, even guys, go through the post birth depression state. So, and this is the last thing I wanted to add to that misery. So, what I did was that I took a bottle of champagne and I said, "Hey, let's celebrate." And she was like, "Why are we celebrating?" I said, "I'll tell you later." And I remember it was Friday. So I didn't tell her till Monday, Tuesday, and one fine day, because I didn't want to tell her, not because I didn't trust her, but just because I wanted to add extra stress to what we were already going through, right? And then I said to my, the boss that, hey, I need your opinion. Can you give me a reference? He said, yeah, I can give you any reference you want. No worries. So I started applying for a job, and he said to me, I'll give you some advice. You need to upskill on certain things. And I started using my work time to upskill. And I mean, and as a matter of fact, within a month, I ended up in finding three job offers, which was fantastic. So the reason why I'm trying to say to you all this, right? I do understand that today you might be thinking, hey, my day is not going well. I have no future because I don't know what I will be doing. Just hang in there, right? I mean, I do understand emotions. When we think from an emotional perspective, right? We are not going to think straight. I'll be very honest with you because you might be thinking about the future. You might be thinking about what to do next and what not to do. Uh, just take some time off. That's my sincere advice. See what you can improve, right? It's an opportunity to upskill. And it's also an opportunity for you to spend more time with your family. Um, and maybe if you have, a child, you can probably, take your kid out for, for a great meal or for a play day or whatever, right? Just try to get him, try to get distracted. Try not to think about it, right? Because the reason why I'm saying is that you can come back tomorrow, with a fresh mind and then start planning what you can do next, right? Reach out to your contacts, and some, say for instance, if you're a Salesforce guy, if you're a developer, you might have an opportunity to say try React.js, if you can try that. You might say if you wanted to still stay in Salesforce space, why don't you try MuleSoft, right? If that's something you never tried. And maybe see if you can get more certified, right? Or you can change your domain altogether. You can get into SAP, or you can probably get into artificial intelligence or machine learning. See whatever works, right? Go and talk to a recruiter. Go and probably reach out to your old boss or old, coworker to say, hey, you know, I'm reaching out for so and so reason. And people are often very nice, right? They often wants to help you. Just don't be shy, right? Because just reach out to the people. People are very nice. You'll be surprised to know. And yeah, and look after yourself and don't stress, right? Stress is very bad for your health, right? Sleep well. Maybe if you wanted to watch a movie, go and watch a movie. This Avatar 2 is a very amazing movie. I would say that if you haven't watched it, just go and watch it, right? And it's not the end of the world, right? Because I'm telling from my experience, I got laid off twice in my life, not just one. First from my first job, and second in the middle, right? Maybe when I was like almost 8 9 years ago. So yeah, it's, and also, okay, now you must be angry, you must be frustrated why Salesforce did this, right? Let me give you another perspective now, right? I given you a perspective from a 9 to 5 worker's point of view. Let me give you a perspective from a founder point of view. I'm a business owner. I run a company. Now you must be thinking, right? The business owners are, uh, a holes, right? To just let people go. You know, I just tell a very very simple story, right? My own story. When I started my company, right, it was not an easy ride. I mean, when I started my training company, when I started my nanotech company, no one was ready to fund us. No one was ready to believe in our dreams, right? There was a time where I sat and cried because nobody wanted to believe in what we wanted to do. I mean, especially in the nanotech, right? And now we talk about things like transhumanism. We talk about that's all cool, but you need bloody nanotech to achieve that stage, and that's exactly what I was trying to convince, the stakeholders or venture capitalists. I knocked freaking every door. I went to bank, but no one believed it. They just laughed at me. Oh, transhumanism, that's not going to happen. Well, as a matter of fact, the world is heading towards that stage. And now, when I have to build a tiny prototype with the help of my business founder. And I did that and we went to the bank and they still didn't convince, it's not going to work. Now, it's not an easy ride as a business owner. And when you get funding, right, you get excited, you hire people. I mean, see, the thing is that it's not the fault of a business owner when they wanted to hire people, right? Because when you get funding, obviously you wanted to hire people so that you can build a solution. Sometimes what happens is you hire too many people, and because you get too excited, too carried away, and then when things started going down, you have to answer to your stakeholders, right? You have to answer to your board. Maybe the uh, Salesforce, the CEO needs to answer to, might be under pressure. He needs to uh, he needs to answer to his stakeholders to say, hey, why the shares are going down, why are we not making much profit, why balance sheets look a bit silly. So a lot of things can go wrong, and as a business owner it's not very easy, right? Because we got a lot of responsibility, right? Our business can go well. Nobody on this planet feel sorry for a business owner. They say, he's a rich man, he doesn't freaking pay tax. That's all the people think about it, which is very, 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 very sad in my opinion, right? I mean, I personally, like I hired a guy in Poland to work for my training company, and he's still with us, right? Even though last year the training didn't do well, I didn't let him go because he's one of the best talent. But the reason why I'm trying to say, right, it's not easy to be a business owner, right? We got bills to pay as well, right? We got, rent to pay for the building. We got things to pay. We are answered to the stakeholders. We got salaries to pay. And when a business owner, struggles to do so, then he has to let go of the people. And from a Salesforce perspective, yes, it's a $1 billion firm, but you're just seeing from a $1 billion perspective. But the Salesforce is answerable to many stakeholders, right? Who are, you know, funding it, right? And even the same goes with the Google, same goes with Amazon, same goes with the Facebook Meta, same goes with Elon Musk Twitter, same goes with um, uh, whatever other company, right? Whatever the name of the company. Um, so yeah, this is exactly what the problem is, right? And I'm not saying it just to make you guys feel bad, but I'm just trying to give a different perspective, right, from a founder, so that you understand, you appreciate how it's difficult to be founder, how it's difficult to run a company. It's not easy to run a company. A lot of responsibility to run a company, right? Like I said, I run two companies. It's not easy, right? I barely sleep like 6 hours a day. I tell you, barely I get 6 hours a day to sleep. Now, from coming to a Salesforce perspective, right, the market is not going to look great, to be honest. I mean, I'm being very optimistic here and very polite at the same time. Market is not looking very good in 2023. Like, uh, my sincere advice, if you think you are in the next line to get fired, try to look for a job from now itself. Don't wait, when S hit the fan, right? Then what will happen is too many people will be looking for a job and it will be tough. uh, you will have to compete with thousands of people, depending upon the job market. At least in New Zealand, our job market is not very big, right? So we don't have too many people looking for a job. So, but if you're in the United States, if you're in India, if you're in a country like Canada, it's a big market, right? Lots of people. The population is huge, especially in a country like India, right? It's 1.5 billion, right? So Even if you lay off, right, 20,000 people, it's still a huge number, right? I mean, 20,000, right? I don't think so. We have 20,000 Salesforce people in New Zealand. It's our population is like 5 million. But so that being said, right, if you think, right, you're going to get fired or if you're going to get redundant, just try looking for the job, not the job. Reach out to your LinkedIn network or whatever works for you. Just don't feel sad about it because just I'll give you one more example, right? If that makes you feel better. Steve Jobs, right? He founded Apple. He got laid off from his own company, right? And that's exactly what he said. But then he founded Next, right? Which got acquired by Disney or Pixar, whatever. And then they bring him back to the Apple. Look where Apple is, $1 trillion company almost, right? So crisis is not always bad. The problem with our society is that in school we were not trained to handle failures, right? Everyone taught us go and fucking get a job, go and get a job. Uh, but that's fine. But how about the things go wrong, right? Then how do you cope up with that? That's one of the things that's really missing from our education system. Things go wrong. We are part of the society. Even an asteroid gets in our solar system, right? Asteroid can get tangled and cause imbalance and can come and hit the Earth, right? Things can go wrong. Even we can't even guarantee that our planet can be stable, after a certain million years, right? So there's no guarantee about anything on this planet, for that matter, anything on this universe. So that's the way it is, right? Entropy is something which is there to bring the equilibrium to the equation. That's the way I look at it. So all I'm saying, just take a rest. Don't worry about it for today, right? Just consider it as a bad dream. Wake up in the morning, do what you're supposed to do, right? And then start a new journey, right? Try to upskill, join a user club. Maybe if you have a hobby which you never had a time to pursue, just go after it, right? Life is full of opportunity, right? If you wanted to attend, say, meditation, go and attend a meditation. If you wanted to join a gym, go and join a gym. If you wanted to, take golf lessons, go and play golf. A lot of things you can do, right? Job is just one aspect of it, right? Just don't feel sorry that just because one aspect of your life got imbalanced, that everything is imbalanced. It's not the case, right? You will find something else to do. That's how the life works out. So all I'm saying, stay strong, stay positive, right? Be grateful that to your loved ones near you, right? That it's always good to reach out to your loved ones to share your concern. Family is very important. At least in my opinion, family comes first, right? You can share with them your problems. If they're willing to listen, that's really great. Um, so maybe how about celebrate the failure, right? Bring a bottle of champagne and celebrate it. Sometimes failures needs to be celebrated. That poor bugger never get an opportunity to be celebrated, right? Just bring a bottle of champagne and celebrate. Let's see what happens. I did that twice, and look where I am, right? I'm glad those people who made me redundant. I'm really grateful to them. Because of them, I'm here today, right? Talking to you guys. And I wouldn't have done what I've done today had it not be the reason for, had it not be the case of my redundancy. So that's all I'm trying to say, right? Just try to see the positiveness in everything you do in your life, which is very important, right? You can see the life through the lens of optimism or the lens of pessimism. So it's your choice, the way you wanted to look at it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for listening to me. I know it's a long rant, but all I wanted to tell you guys are great. You are talented. Just don't give up. That's all. Thank you.